Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignertechtips.com. We've got a great one for you today. We've got this default Divi header here. This is just a regular header that's set up when you first put your theme together. It's got a logo, it's got a menu, it works great. But we're just going to add a little interest value to it. If I flip over to this other tab, I'm going to add a little call to action button up there, keeping this very simple. And also, when we load the page, we're going to have a nice little animation. Logo come in first, then the menu, and then finally the button from the right hand side there. Just to show you one more time, I'll refresh again. There's the logo, menu, and button. Really easy to do, so let's get started. To do this today, I'm going to go down to the dashboard. We're going to go down to Divi and Theme Builder. Now here's the global header I just built. If I get rid of that and save those changes now. If we go back to this menu, there's one I built just now. If I refresh now, it'll go back to the default. There we go. And I can get rid of that page. It's just a duplicate. Okay, so like I say, go down the dashboard, go down to Divi, Theme Builder. That's going to take you to this page here. I'm going to click on where it says Add Global Header. I'm going to hit Build Global Header. And just like the Divi Builder, it throws in a section and asks you to put in a row. Just so you can see what's going on, let's go into the section. Blue tab is always a section. I'll give it a little drop shadow on the bottom so you can see exactly where it ends there. If I go down to the box shadow, let's just throw that one. There we go. So you can see the bottom of it there. For mine today, like I say, I'm going to keep it very, very simple by adding a row. I'm going to use a row that's got more in the center than it has either side. So let's perhaps use that one. In the left-hand column, I'm going to put an image for my logo. So let's go down and grab an image module. There we go, right there. Select your logo. My logo I've got here is 330 by 100 pixels. I'll pop it in there. Now, if you built with Divi before, you'll know the actual menu module has a location for a logo also, so you could use one module, but I want to have 3 separate columns for mine, so that's why I'm doing it with an image today. Probably link this to the home page. Just put in a link for your home page here, which would usually be your root domain, and of course you want it to open in the same window. Not going to have a background. In design, I am going to size this. I want it to be the same size on all devices. I don't want to have an overlay. Alignment wise, I want it to be in the middle of the column that it's sitting in. And we'll do that in the sizing also. So in sizing, if I go down to width here, I happen to know that I usually have that at 167 pixels. 167. Make sure you put the px on the end because it will try and put in a percentage otherwise, and that won't work. And like I say, it wants to be in the middle of our column. Obviously it already is. Fantastic. Now with an image module, when you hover over it, it's going to give you that little pop-up right there. If you don't want to see that, I really don't want to see that when they put their mouse on it. You can go over to the advanced in the image module, down to attributes. There it is right there. You can simply select that and delete it. Now nothing's going to pop up. They can just go to the home page. Fantastic. And for my middle one, this is where I want the menu text. So I'm going to roll down. I'm going to get a menu module for this today. And select the menu that you want to put in there. And these have to be created and saved. Anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, if you go to your Divi dashboard, down to appearance and menus, this is where you create and save your menus. To create your first one, just go over to create a new menu, add the pages that you want to that menu. Back to the builder. Okay, so I'm happy for it to be on the top menu there. That's absolutely fine. Here's what I was saying before. You can use one menu module and just add buttons this side if you want to add the logo straight to this module. But like I say, I want to keep mine separate for this today. Elements, here you can choose if you've got WooCommerce installed to show a shopping cart or show the search icon. I don't want any of those, so I'm going to leave them off. Don't want a link, don't want a background. Now for anybody that's not going to be building with a white background, by default, this menu has a white background on there. just to show you, if I save that, put a color behind our section right here, you can see that's got a white behind it. So you need to remove that if you've got a different color background going on. Back into the menu module. Layout wise, it's fine as it is. Menu text, I want that to be in the middle. Obviously, you can make it any color you want there, but I'm just going to pop it in the middle. Fantastic. Now, I know I need to adjust it a little bit, but we'll do that when we sized up our little header here. So I'm going to leave that just as it is. Let's just add a little call to action button on the right hand side. There's the button module. And the reason mine's purple and blue, that's the way I've got it set in my customizer. But obviously you can style this button however you like by going over to the design, down to button. You can use custom styles. The only thing I'm going to adjust on there is perhaps that text is a little bit big. Let's take that down to perhaps 14, I think I used before, something like that. And let's say contact us rather than click here. Obviously, whatever you want to say, put your link in down below here under the content. Great. Well, it's a little large, but it's getting there. So let's shrink it down. I'm going to take any padding away. You can actually do it manually just by left clicking and pulling it up and down with your mouse. But I'm actually going to go in there and set mine manually by going to the cog, design, spacing. I'm going to put a 0 in both sides. If I put a 0 in this side and hit the chain, it'll do the same on both sides for me. Still a little bit wide for me. So we can adjust more by taking a little bit off the row. Green tab for the row. And again, you can go in there and do it with your mouse. Or I'm going to do mine manually. Spacing again. Padding top and bottom. Let's try 15 pixels. And hit the chain. Looks about right to me. It's a little skinny maybe. Let's make it 18 or something like that. That's close enough, I think. Great. Now we've got it the size you want it. We can line these up. So I'm happy with the row size there. We can go into the menu. Just add a bit of padding to the top here. Design. For all sections, modules and rows, you'll always find spacing under the design tab. That's where margin and padding live. Let's perhaps try giving it 10 pixels on the top. That's absolutely fine. And we'll go into our button now. I'm going to go into my design. I want to make sure it's in the middle of my column. So I'm going to go to the alignment. Make sure it's in the middle. And we'll try pushing it down by 10, the same as our text, and see what happens. Unlike other modules, with the button module, you can't use padding. Look what happens if I put 10 pixels padding in the top of the button. It makes it fatter or deeper. That's pretty standard for buttons, but I want to push it down. So we're going to use margin for that today. And again, let's just put a 10 in there, see what happens. It's pretty close. That's close enough for me anyway. You always go up there if you want to get technical and measure it. Use your ruler to measure it and see if it's all aligned up. I think that's close enough for me. And of course, you can adjust this for tablet and mobile by going into any module. Just hover over the dark writing. You'll see some little icons appear. If you hit the little mobile phone type icon, you get 3 tabs. We can click on one for the tablet view. Let's move this out of the way so you can see. You might decide that you don't want that much gap on the tablet view. Let's put a 0 in there. That'll tighten it up a bit. And perhaps you want a bit more on the bottom. So let's perhaps put 30 on the bottom. And the same with our little menu item. And I don't like the color blue they're using there either. So if we save our button settings there, we'll go back into our menu here. And again, we had custom spacing on this. So let's go to our spacing. Get the little phone up. Hit the tablet view. Yeah, let's take that away on tablet. Just put a 0 in there. Great. And let's just change that color to the default blue for the hamburger. If I close up the spacing, I'm in the menu module here, remember? We've got icons. I click on that. No shopping cart, no search icon, but we have got a hamburger menu. That's called the hamburger menu. Let's just turn that to default blue. Much better. Okay, well, let's add some animations to this. I want the logo to slide in from the left-hand side, so we can simply go into the logo. Over to design, right at the bottom, you'll find animation. Just click on one, it'll give you an example of it. I'm going to use slide for mine today. I want it to slide in from the left-hand side to the right. Perfect. I want it to take about a second. That's fine. That's what it is on by default. I want it to be delayed by 1 second too. So that'll be 1000 milliseconds is 1 second. So after the page loads, it's going to be 1 second, and this is going to start to animate. I want the intensity to be as maximum. Perfect. Now let's do similar for the menu. Going to go into the menu module. Again, straight over to design, down the bottom, we'll find animation. Slide. Again, duration 1000. I'm going to delay this by 2 seconds. I'm exaggerating mine a little bit, but it gives you the idea. So they sort of come in one after each other. Now I want this to actually zoom in. Let's have it do that. That's absolutely fine. And again, I'm going to have the intensity maximum. That's fine. And finally, with our button, exactly the same thing. Design, all the way down to the bottom, animation. This one, I'm back to the slide. I want it to slide to the left from the right. So I'll say left. I want it to be delayed by 3 seconds. Like I say, I'm going a little exaggerated with this. And again, I want the intensity to be at the maximum. Perfect. Great. Well, when you're happy, we can save the changes. Make sure we save the page changes down here. X out. And before it'll show up on the front end, you want to make sure you save your changes in the theme builder page here. Now we can go back to our page. There's the original default. We refresh now. We got our new one with the logo sliding in, menu fading in, and the little button sliding in from the other side. Just do that one more time. Logo, menu, button. Perfect. And because we made this global, it'll appear on all pages. If you want to exclude pages, you can create another menu here for whatever other pages and tell it what pages you want. And we'll do that in another video. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. Don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them down below the video. I'll do my best to answer them for you or make a little demo video like this one. So once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.